Okay, so we have our Protoss player on the center right, our Terran player on the center left.
So cross spawns. But yeah, I mean, like, this map, in my opinion, is pretty good for carrier play if it gets into that. Arbiters don't seem to be too bad. There's definitely some cool things in the center of the map.
I'll applause.
For my wife. It's the first time she's seen StarCraft.
She loves her husband.
And KSL. Hardcore.
Cheers, guys.
She's going to be a fan for life, no doubt about that.
That's right. It all begins here. So, we are going to see exactly what a PvT looks like on this map. I mean, this is the fun part about having different maps here in StarCraft. And this is also what's kept RTS alive for so long, is that it's not just the units and the tech trees and the buildings. It's actually, okay, how do they interact on different layouts?
Yeah, and I think that that's such a cool part of StarCraft and StarCraft's history. You know, we've had a ridiculous amount of maps in both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. Yeah,
we've had great maps. We've had some of the worst maps you could imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes we don't know they're going to be great or terrible until we test them out, and then we see,
and over time they changed, too. A lot of maps that we loved back in the day, they don't hold up. Look at Lost Temple. Everyone played that map almost exclusively for years. You try to host that map now, not a single player will play on it because it's just garbage.
it's a terrible map.
It's a Terran killing field. Like, just what is your Zerg, your Protoss? It doesn't matter. Terran's gonna get you.
Yeah, it's an insane map. It's funny too because there were some other maps that turned out to just be spectacular that you might not necessarily know what to expect. Maps like Destination, for instance.
Yeah, that was a great map back in the day.
But you know. Now that we've had Remastered come out, we're sort of bringing back maps from different eras to bring back the good vibes, the feels. So we've got more modern maps like we have here. This is a brand new map. We've had maps like Blue Storm. That's actually quite an old map.
Yeah.
Maps that have been around for ages and ages like Fighting Spirit are here as well.
And, you know, they all really dictate different ways that you have to adjust your play and everything. And it is one of the beautiful aspects of Brood War. So, Roadkill, let's talk about some of the interesting terrain features. We already went over them a little bit, but for instance, you have the low ground main base, which means that if someone controls the high ground, your ramp area, it's very hard for you to get up there. You know, you have 2 bases on the high ground, only one of which has gas. That means that, like, basically getting 3 bases as, for instance, a Terran player is going to be very easy, but getting 3 gases is a lot harder. That's a pretty popular map mechanic.
This is a funny thing as well in PvT because gas is important for both sides, but you can kind of have a mineral base as a Terran or a Protoss, and you'll make it work, you know? Whereas PvZ, that can be much more problematic. If
That's
you
true.
have both races and they're on 3 bases, the Zerg has, you know, 2 bases with gas and 1 without. The Protoss has the same thing. Protoss has trouble.
Yeah.
They got to come up with a different way to play the game because
and then
you don't have enough storm.
In TVZ, it's the exact other way around, where if the Zerg only has 2 gases, the Terran's not even afraid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't do anything. It's at 3 gases, you're like, okay, you're in the game now.
Yeah. So we've got a 2-gate opening here with a robo behind it. Now keep in mind how Mini lost the last game. Mini lost the last game to a 2-factory push. So this is like Terran playing very, very carefully.
Yeah.
And very, very, I don't want to say scared because it can also be aggressive. Okay, he needs to stop this Vulture, Artosis.
Holy God.
Get that Vulture!
How many shots is he going to miss on that probe? Okay, he sees 2 gates and a robo. That is a huge amount of intel.
It was kind of crazy because that Vulture was still trying to kill the probe and then still got down there and got inside.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering what his original plan with the 2 gates and the Vulture, or the 2 gates and the Robo were. Oh my God, I can't even speak. But because, like, that is, I mean, if they 2-factor, you're going to kill it, but.
Well, you basically have to pick a fight from here. Right? That's all there is to it. This is basically not good what Protoss has got himself into.
Yeah.
Like I know this feeling too, where I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I don't think I can touch you. Now, he might have to go crazy and just start hitting everywhere.
Gosh.
But, I mean, double Gateway Observer. This is the counter to 2-fact, like we were saying earlier, but You know,
you'll definitely kill that, but it looks like he's just going to take a really quick third Nexus.
Okay,
and
so
I can't blame him for it.
This looks like a build from 2002.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not being mean when I say that, but this is what a 2002 game looks like, PvT. So the Protoss expands really, really quickly on 2 bases. Now, what he's trying to do is compensate for the fact that Terran got a base up so quickly and trying to get 2 of his own. And you can get away with this because you have a decent amount of Dragoons.
Yeah.
You already killed the 1 Vulture. It's just a tank and a bunker. I mean, Terran's just staying back. But I think in theory, Terran should be developing a little bit more quickly here.
Oh, absolutely.
Terran's going to be much more comfortable with this than the Protoss would be.
His economy is way, way, way better right now.
Yeah.
Notice, though, he is getting turrets because he did see that quick robo, and that's something that Mini probably expected as well because that Vulture did get in, it saw the robo, it saw the 2 gates. So Mini's, or rather Last, is sitting here thinking, you know what, I gotta be ready for this. If I scout the robo and the Reaver does come, and I don't have turrets, I'm going to be in a huge disadvantage.
Right. In this game, Mini opted to not be aggressive at all, just go for intel and try to get a read. So from here, you try to get those mineral patches saturated at both the 2nd base and the 3rd base. And then you try to just start making gateways and get ready for a fight. Now, again, if you've been watching a lot of modern StarCraft 1, this probably looks a little bit weird and ugly. As far as builds go. It's a little bit fugly, right? Well, it should feel fugly because this is just not the cleanest way to do this. But because of the abuse that Mini suffered in Game 2, he tried to play really safe and be ready for that here in Game 3. And I think Last really intelligently shifted gears out of that here in Game 3.
I got to say also, based on the build he was doing, that was a build that he might have been able to punish a gasless expand with. It might have been one of these builds that can kind of do both, right? It's going to be safe against 2-fact. It's going to be pretty good against gasless expand. I've seen some Protosses start doing a very quick Reaver on 1 base to try to punish that, and it's had a little bit of mixed success, but overall some success.
I think you're right, Artosis. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You could pressure the front and then Reaver drop the main.
Or even blow up the SCVs that are repairing the bunker. We've seen that a little bit.
Sure, yeah. That's absolutely viable as well.
But yeah, right now, with 3 factories out and the speed with which he got that expansion up, Last feels good. He's out on the map right now. He's got a pretty big amount of army.
Yeah, he's starting to back up here. Now, it's really important that Last makes this work. If Protoss gets a good angle here and starts killing off tanks, Last has lost all the momentum.
Yeah, but
I almost felt like there was a moment Mini could have tried to jump on top of those tanks, but maybe that would have been too ambitious.
Yeah, those 4 Marines are a huge deterrent. They actually deal damage rather quickly, and it takes 4 Dragoon hits a piece to kill them, so makes it a little bit tough. Here he comes, but this is a lot of tanks in siege mode. The mine's starting to be laid. Uh-oh, he's taking a ton of damage on these Dragoons. Can he pick them all off, though?
The mines are pretty well placed here. I think he's actually able to take this push out here.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Get that last tank.
Look at that. This no man's land in between the tanks that he's trying to find, but ends up not finding, losing all of those Dragoons.
Okay, that was actually pretty disastrous there by Mini. It seemed like it could have come in there. It's trickier to control those Dragoons. It's harder than it looks. Now, he's got a shuttle out. We just saw that pop on screen here. He's got some Dragoons. It's these tanks trying to break down the pylon wall so he can breach that expansion and take out the probes.
Yeah, and, Mini is definitely not dead yet. If he can still clear this, he's got 3 bases. He hasn't lost his economy, at least. Dropping a couple Dragoons here on top of those tanks that are sieged. He will pick off 1 immediately here. Looks like that. Oh, he's trying to drag the mine. Oh, the sickest micro. Oh, my God. Last picks off his own mine while it's traveling towards the goon. That would have cleared the siege tank and SV. I got nerd chills. So sick, Last.
It was really subtle. I'm glad you pointed it out, Artosis, because it was so close.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
But these last 2 Dragoons are going to clean this out. Those Vultures are inside there taking out workers. However, it would seem to me that if Protoss can clean up these Vultures, he's going to be fine. By the way, I think was that pylon wall never walling that off, or did he get one of the pylons?
He killed one of the pylons, and now he's lost every probe at that 3rd. And that is a huge issue right now for Mini. Last has played this game really beautifully, and he saves the Nexus, Last doesn't care. Well, I mean, obviously he wants it dead, but this is a great situation for him right now. Last is going to get his third up for free. It's already done. It's at a gas location. Mini has no way to really get aggressive other than that Reaver he just made. And Last's next push is going to be one that has potential to end the game.
Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that as the Terran's taking this third base, it's kind of isolated down there, the Reaver harass could be very, very impactful. That could actually make up for a lot of what Terran already did to the Protoss with a lot less work, to be totally honest, assuming that it gets over there. Protosses are getting so interesting with when they get these Reavers now.
Yeah. The Reaver is an all-game unit. It used to be only early game against Terran. But let's see what he can get done with it. There's already a decent amount of turrets. He has an armory, so he can make Goliaths against this as well. He has his starport up and is making a Wraith immediately when he sees this.
Yeah, very intelligent response here.
Yeah, look at that, laying the mine, just reducing the area where you can drop this.
Okay. He's dropping.
Ooh,
okay. Actually, not bad,
there,
man.
yeah.
Not bad. You know, he's taking out some of these SCVs. This might not look like a lot, but it actually is very annoying for the Terran.
He only needs to buy a little bit of time, though, because he is making that Wraith. And everything... Oh, he's going into Carriers minions.
Yeah, a lot of times if you see Reaver Tech in mid-game, Carriers is the way to go. It pairs out almost perfectly with how you're balancing your gas. So he gets that set up here. The problem is I don't think the Carriers can easily poke into that bottom base and be a threat on the map, right?
Well, if you're, like, this is a good map overall for Carriers because of terrain, but you're going to have to get the carrier number up and then fly that far across the map.
Yeah.
That, in and of itself, is tough. Those Carriers are, like, he's playing for a much longer game. There's not, like, any time coming up where Mini's going to have the possibility to kill Last.
Yeah, he's going to have to kind of bow down to the Terran here for the time being and respect what Terran's done on the map. But that means, oh, hold on a second.
Oh my gosh. Just never-ending damage coming out of Last here. Look at this.
You know, you got to have a pylon wall at locations like this or this is what's going to happen. Whoa, hold on. Two shuttles coming in here, Artosis.
Yeah, let's see what he can get done with that. The Wraith going to push it back immediately. The Vulture's doing insane damage over here. So worthwhile right now to trade Vultures for probes, considering how many probes he's already killed this game.
The shuttles are looking for an opening. Now, it's going to be a long way if they try to go for that third base here. We have Carriers. Again, it takes a long time to get a massive amount of Carriers. A lot of times, Terrans will punish the Protoss before the Carriers really become a real factor.
Yeah.
So Mini's trying to utilize the shuttle speed and the threat of these shuttles coming in somewhere and doing a lot of damage to keep the Terran at least somewhat honest. But, you know, Last has come in here and killed so many probes over and over and over again. I feel like Last is getting his edge in the game pretty easily, where Mini's bending himself into pretzels to try to stay a factor here. In fact, Last has already out-macroed him.
He's trying to figure something out, and it's not coming to him. Like, he's poking and prodding. He's all over the place. He's trying to take another Nexus, it looks like, down here. But none of this is what is going to, like, win him the game right now. He needs to be able to hold on when Last actually pushes out. As Last gets closer and closer to 2-1, his supply gets higher and higher, this game gets further away from Mini having a victory.
Yep, here comes the dropship now, coming through. Now, I think this was never intended to try to stop a base over. He might have wanted to just drop Vultures inside the main. But this is going to be cleaned up, so not a very impactful point in this game here now. But the push is coming out. +2, +1 should be finishing up momentarily. Now, the counterattack here from Mini is going to go into the main. This is sort of like a junior Arbiter recall.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's a move that you were actually talking about earlier on.
Yeah, it's going to, I don't know if it's going to pull the Terran back because the Terran might just kill it with the stuff that comes out anyways, but the idea is there.
Yeah, so you attack these turrets with a couple carriers, and then you fly the speed shuttles in because the turrets aren't going to hit them. And I mean, it's not a bad idea. Let's see what he gets done. The Reavers get into the mineral line all the way. Oh my God! Okay, that's a lot of SCV kills right off the bat.
Now this is actually pretty huge. He's taking out workers. The problem is that Terran's already over this location. Protoss is going to try to counterattack now. There is a chance here for Protoss to do this, but it's going to be insanely difficult.
The carrier's still in the main base here. Plenty of units to clean up. Oh my God, is that the Reavers going to the natural? This is a great move by Mini.
Okay, and this is doing so much damage.
Oh my god, his whole economy is being destroyed!
And actually, he could pick up and then go to that other expansion down there at the bottom.
Yeah, this is an area you don't put turrets in because you don't expect anything to be out here, but looks like these Goliaths will pick it off, will clean up these Reavers.
Hold on a second. There's an attack over there at that natural.
Oh my gosh. This is madness right now. He's actually turning around against just a handful of gateway units. I think that it might be a bit of a mistake for his army to turn around fully.
Well, Protoss doesn't have any mining locations, so I think Terran just needs to go back here and get this command center land and kill off the remaining ground forces, and pretty much Blast should win. But I got to say, this is a pretty scary counter here by Mini. It really shows you how crafty Mini is. I mean, this looked like it was an uphill game from start to finish, but Mini found a pretty sophisticated way to at least try to screw things up for the Terran. And I think if it wasn't Last, if it was almost any other Terran player, he might have fallen victim to it.
Yeah, and those late game Reavers really showing their worth and value as well. I mean, once upon a time, you'd never see a move like that, but those Reavers really help to clean up the economy of Last.
It also goes to show you that just having those 2 carriers with the shuttles, it draws all those turret shots away.
Yeah.
And suddenly you just have a real threatening Reaver drop inside your main. And there's nothing you can do about it but try to run away with SCVs. And those Reavers are going to get kills if they do it right.
Mm-hmm. So we have the group of carriers and the group of zealots kind of moving past the Terran army like ships in the night. He looks like he wants to hit that bottom left, and he'll be able to hit that pretty easily. I don't think there's enough units here at home to stop this.
I think the only way that Protoss could win this is if all the Zealots got good connects on the Goliaths and somehow the carriers came through.
Yeah.
There's 4 carriers total. But the thing is, there are so many Goliaths here. Can't he just shoot down the interceptors?
Yeah, with 2-1, this is not an issue, really.
Ooh, 6 carriers.
But where's the money for interceptors? He's got 85 minerals.
That's a good point. He has no money. He's broke.
He doesn't. He only has his main Nexus. Like, this is not a good place for Mini at all.
Now, this would be the ideal moment to try to send the Zealots in to draw some fire over here.
Yeah, look at that. The 1 siege tank really humbling those probes, unable to do much. Zealot's going to finally walk up here, get into the battle. But Mini can't even afford an interceptor now.
Yeah, we're seeing the end of this. This is going to be checkmate here. I think it's pretty smart that actually Protoss positioned his army down here in the bottom left, because he can try to hit the natural only. But there's nothing to stop Terran from floating the command center to the top left. You know, and just mining from there.
Oh,
he actually dematrixed to interceptor.
That happens more often than you think.
Yeah, it's kind of
trying to get a Goliath and it's being attacked by an interceptor.
Yeah.
Bam. Interceptor's super powered.
Okay, so he's going to get the command center. Or, well, it's going to burn down. One way or the other, it's going to go down.
Now, if that interceptor can tank all of the Goliath shots for a little bit. Yeah.
GG. 2-1 lead here for Last. Nicely done. So Last just has to win 1 more game here, and he's going to move on. Mini, by the way, looking pretty visibly stressed out, to be honest.
Well, I think he came in tonight kind of like us, thinking, okay, I've definitely got a very good chance to take this home, but now losing 1-2? It's not a good place to be in. Polaris Rhapsody was a ban for Last. Didn't actually get to see what the ban was for Mini. But Circuit Breaker, Fighting Spirit, and... Why is my brain not doing this?
I'm going to just leave you out to dry Artosis. You're on your own for this one.
Yeah, well, Fighting Spirit.
Fighting Spirit. Okay, so the classic Brood War map that is still used in tournaments. Last probably just wants to try to play about as textbook of a game as possible. What do you think Mini's going to do here?
Well, I think you're going to play a pretty regular game as Mini, to be honest. You know, get your expansion up, go into maybe Reaver play, see if there's a chance to delay his third base if he's trying to play a very heavy econ game. If not, just kind of defend, get into Arbiter Tech, you know?
Yeah.
Fighting Spirit is a pretty even map overall, and Terrans can have a very hard time securing a 4th base if you can kind of keep yourself together as a Protoss into the late game.
Okay. Game 4 is about to start up. In fact, to start up right now. Let's go.